Good Friday evening and welcome back to PreciseAlgorithmTrading.com. It's Friday, July 28th, 2023, and I'm going to knock out a weekly video, end of the week here, and I wanted to start here at our website. Real quick, the home page here gets into how these automated trading systems work, and it talks about TradeStation here. You can actually hit the link there. That's the platform we use. These are screenshots or videos actually from the our TradeStation platform, and they go back a ways. These are dated last year into the beginning of 2020. I'm sorry, that's the end of or that's middle of last year to the end of last year. Um, so it's just when we did the screen captures, but and then literally these are reports that TradeStation gives, and they're literally updated daily and even through the day. So then the algorithmic trading systems here goes through an explanation of all that and how things work and how the drawdowns work, and really there's some things in here about how to manage risk as far as your account value has to be 3 to 4 times larger than your largest drawdown, and we can help you with that. If you have specific questions, we've got a Gmail account that we've got tied into this thing, and it's on the front page. Manual algorithm trading systems, again, it's really if something happens, then you do this, and that's really what an algorithm is: if this, then that. And it goes through, and we've got tools, and I actually need to get a couple of different tools that we've been using lately and get them added in here, and then you can actually go buy those from our products page, and you can actually buy the automated trading systems as well. The daily reviews, where we go into every day, or almost every day. Certainly not on the weekends, and every now and then I'm sure we're going to miss one, but due to vacations and whatnot. But we go in here and do an update. It's really, as a trader, we need to do our homework, and this is just really, we're just doing our homework every night in front of everybody. So, and I'm going to do it right now. Jump into, jump right into Thinkorswim. So this is Thinkorswim. It's a platform for trading, and let's just see what the S&P did today. So this is actually a crazy move after a big spike down. This is a week or an hourly chart on the right hand side, a daily chart in the middle, a weekly chart on the left. So this is the S&P 500. It's like what the everybody really thinks is what the market is, and it actually does a pretty good job of telling you what the market is doing overall. It's a basket full of 500 stocks, and it's the results of all those 500 trading in a day or a week, or even in an hour on a bar basis. So what's crazy is on this hourly chart over here, we got a big spike down. You can see it actually stopped right here effectively at this moving average, and it's bounced from there. So the volatility is picked up, and it's actually a pretty crazy move to get that kind of a move down and followed up by this big of a move back up. I think I said in our video last night, these things don't get reversed in a day, and it didn't, but it got reversed back more than half, I think, here, which is notable. The Dow was up by 176 points today after a big washout the other day, um, which I think was yesterday. And the Russell 2000, which is the small cap stocks, are the hardest stocks to trade for the institutions because they're low volume. So it basically, if the institutions get in and out of these things, they really can move the market because there's such low volume. There's not a lot of interest in them, and if the institutions are trading in, you know, thousands or even millions of shares, or hundreds of thousands, it's going to move the individual markets. So this is actually something where you watch the Russell, and it'll lead the markets. It tends to lead the markets in either direction, down first then up, or up first then down. And Sometimes it's immediate with the rest of the markets, but it's something that you can watch. For that matter, the transports are similar, and the transports have just been on fire lately. They got this giant move down, not near as giant, not quite as big. It didn't come all the way down to this blue line here, but and then it's actually bounced higher today, which is, I think I actually have in my positions. I'll have to look, but I think I've got an actual directional play there. Might have to just kill it, which is fine, no big deal. So then oil was up by 0.72% today, and I'm going to flip over and look at just the USO, which is the exchange traded fund for that. Actually, I need to go back to CL, the futures contract, because I think Monday is going to be the big day for oil, and the USO contract and the actual futures contract might be in conflict with each other, because this USO chart here has gone up so much, and it was way past its gold Harvard line here. That's a Harvard line. Point that out to you guys in case you haven't seen this before. This is a gold Harvard line. That's last month's gold Harvard line. This is this month's. This is the stop if you're getting in on. But what the way the system works on the Harvard lines is this has to close above that Harvard line. Really on Monday, it's the last trading day of the month. It has to close there on a monthly basis. It doesn't matter if it closes way above it or right above it. But if this comes back down and closes below it, that's not a signal. And if it closes above it, then that's a buy point. That if it closes there, the sell point is below this light blue line, and this light blue line and this gold line will continue to print into next month. And you can see just on this chart, it's only a couple months back, but you can see it hasn't been above that line. And actually, I'm going to get rid of the highlighter, and I'm going to show you that it came above. Actually, there was the gold Harvard line back there, and it came up underneath it, and then went lower. Here, it didn't come up last month and didn't even get close. This month's the first time that it's popping its head above there, and typically the first time will fail, but that's not a rule in the system. You still, I mean, the way systems trading works is you buy, and then if it closes below here, then you sell and you take that loss, and then you do it the next time, and you average your wins and losses together for what you want is an upsloping equity curve. I know I threw a lot out there, but that's how trading works. So this is bonds, and it was actually setting up like it was showing a potential for a buy signal, and this has failed. So this is back down to the lows, and I wouldn't buy this with a 10-foot pole until I start getting some signals to the upside. I also wouldn't sell it from here because it fell so far. That's not to say it can't continue to go down, because we got red signals across the board. So alright, let's look at a couple of trades just for the sake of beginners here or people that haven't been following. So this is the hourly chart on this side. The True Momo indicator down here, it's an indicator we built, and it really shows you overbought and oversold. It shows you when things are kind of like sold off too hard and potentially could roll back up, or bought too hard and could potentially roll back down. So what do they really show is high points and low points. High point, low point, low point, high point. This is an hourly chart. You can see the low point on this chart happened to be here as far as momentum goes, and it was here as far as momentum goes. Well, just because we had a low point here didn't mean it couldn't get beat or couldn't get breached to the downside. It just so happened that the momentum actually came up and didn't fall as far on this pullback, which is actually a giant indication that momentum's higher even though we pulled back harder, and that is exactly the kind of thing you need for a catapult move. So if you look at it over here, momentum came down, started to put in signals here, you started to get a move off the bottom. It did pull back right there and then moved higher and then still pulled back even though we're above zero here. This is, that's not easy to trade, and this turned red right in the middle of that. So if really the way we trade is if this is red, this turns red, and this is red, either set a stop underneath a pivot like that. Here's a pivot here, here's a pivot here, or just get out. If you can get out, and then this thing rolls back up to green, and this turns green like it is now, and this turns, this is potentially going to turn green if these stay green and go higher. If this stays green and goes higher, this has no choice but to turn green. That is how these systems work, guys. But there's nothing that says it has to do this. If this turns red and goes south, this is going to turn red and go south, and it's just time to get out. So this is the beginning of a potential move, and that is why it's in our setups here. So, all right, I hope that helps.